Hello, everybody. How's it going? Happy Monday to all of you glitter goddesses. It's August now. It's no longer Christmas in July because it's no longer July. We had to say goodbye to July. Goodbye, July. It was nice knowing you. So, what we are in the process of making here is we are making a paper bag album with little pockets, and I forgot to put paper on that, so we'll figure it out. Little pockets, so let's address that. The last class was all just me fixing a bunch of mistakes. Like I said, I was making like 3 albums at once or something. I didn't know what the heck I was doing half the time. So, yeah. This is the album where I just cannot stop making mistakes for some reason. But that's okay. That's okay. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. All right. So, we just need a tiny scrap of paper, which I've got some right here. How's everyone doing today? Hope you're all enjoying your Monday. I know it's not everyone's favorite day of the week, but all right, so not mistakes, opportunities to learn. There you go. There you go. All right, so this piece right here, this that is going on, we need to measure it. So it's 2 7/8 inches wide. All right. So we need a piece that's 2 5/8 inches wide. That will look cute right here. And I think we'll go with this one. Or would that look better? We'll just go with this one. So 2 5/8 because we're taking 1/4 of an inch off. And then what we're gonna do is I'll round the corners, or not round them, but chomp them with the We Are Memory Keepers punch board. All right. So then the only other thing to figure out is how far down can I get this thing? It's not that far. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to give myself like 1/4 of an inch. Okay, so I need to notch this corner here. Because the bag itself is notched. Yeah. All right, so this is good enough. This looks a little crazy, but just to fill in a gap, it's fine. I'm gonna use liquid glue though, because that's the only thing that'll be able to slide it down in there. And then after I do this one thing, hopefully we'll be able to make inserts for the bags and work on that today. Get some inserts made. Okay. All right, good enough. There we go. Now it's time to work on the inserts. And let me get the notebook out where I wrote all the measurements. Did I put it in this book? I don't think I did. Nope, I put it in this book. I need to get my notebook situation under control. Under control. I don't know what size it, I think it's like 9 or 10 inches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's 10 inches. It's like 5 by 10 closed. Okay, so the inserts are 7 1/4 by 4 1/4. All right. Why do I have 7 1/4 by 4 1/4 and 9 1/2 by 4 1/4? Let me ponder this. Is that, oh, that's the two, it's made out of 2 pieces, right? Yes. It's made out of 2 pieces. Okay. All right. So we can get the 7 1/4 inch pieces out. Let's see. Are these 5 by 7? Yeah. Okay, so here's 3 5 by 7 pieces. We can make 3 more inserts. I just need to get 3 more. Oh, okay. Oh no, I can't. I can't because they need to be 7 1/4 and these are 5 by 7. So I have 1 insert that's done and a bunch of scraps I can't use, which is fine. Whatever. That's fine. All right. So step 1 will be, let's get our Fiskars trimmer, get our cardstock. Oh, okay, cardstock. Why you gotta be this way? Okay, so I'm gonna do a 4 1/2 inch pinwheel. So that means that we put the piece at 4 1/2 and we cut to 4 1/2. I've discussed before how you can do pinwheels. You don't have to just do 5 by 7 pinwheels. You can do other size pinwheels depending on what you need, as long as the 2 dimensions of what you need add up to 12 inches or less. So in this case, this is 7 1/4 by 4 1/4, 7 1/4 by 4 1/4. When you add them together, they add up to less than 12. So you can do a pinwheel for them. You just get a bigger square in the middle. So all these pieces are now 4 1/2 by 7 1/2. So I can cut those down to 4 1/4 by 7 1/4. All right, so now for these, the next set of guys are, where the heck is my, oh, here's my notebook. The next ones are 9.5 by 4.5, 9 or 4.25. 9.5 by 4.25 do not add up to less than 12. So you can't do a pinwheel for these. So these we'll have to do 2 to a sheet. That's the best we can do. So let me make 4 of these. And then what we're going to do is put 4 of these together. And then when we're done with that, we'll see what we're going to do with the rest of our day. So these 7.5 by 4.5, I just need to cut down to 7.25 by 4.25. We might nap. That's true. We might nap. Naps are rarely a bad idea. Naps are rarely a bad idea. Okay. Now, hi Barb, my finger is doing much better. My finger is doing much better, so we're in pretty good finger shape at the moment. Okay, guys, so let me show you how to score these. The 7.25 inch ones, these are the ones that get scored. These get scored at 6.25. So yeah, with the finger, they get scored on the 7.25 inch side at 6.25. With the finger, I went to a nail place a week ago and to get my other 9 nails cut down, and they wanted to take a look at the 10th nail to see if there's anything they could do. And they were able to cut off quite a big chunk of it that I wasn't able to get with my trimming, and that wasn't able to be removed with the first time that it was dealt with. And then said they could glue the pieces they couldn't reach because they were torn too far down, that they could glue those and put an acrylic tip over it, and that would help a lot, which it did. And I think it's because what was hurting me so much was that those torn edges of the nails were constantly shifting around when I moved or used my hand and poking me in the nail bed, which was torn. And that by gluing all their edges down and putting a piece of acrylic over the top, not only did they make it waterproof, so I don't have to deal with all of the waterproof stuff, but so that was a lot less of a hassle, but also, you know, just not. And this also gets scored at 6 1/4, the long one. So they both get scored at 6 1/4 on their longer side. My back is not troubling me any more than it normally is. So, the back pain that I was having issues with on Thursday has gone away. So that would be, on Thursday would be a flare up where it would be worse than normal. So my back is troubling me 100% of the time, always. But Thursday it was worse than usual. And the worse than usual has gone away. So that stick really does help a lot. It's just excruciatingly painful, and it makes the back very sore for the next day or two. But it's a different kind of sore than, yeah, okay. So it looks like I did this right. Good job, me. Okay, so what we're going to do is on the back of all of these ones with the large flap, we're going to put a line of tape. And then on the back of all the other ones, and we'll probably, on the flap, on the edge of the flap, we'll put a line of tape. But yeah. My body is generally useless, and I'm definitely not, I'm ready for when we become transhuman and we all have our brains inside robot bodies. It's all good. Bring it on. Bring it on. The dinner party is on Saturday. We did change the menu because we're not doing the salmon. The reason we had been doing the salmon is because a pescatarian was coming. But the pescatarian can't make it anymore. So we changed the menu, and now we're having, so on these we're going to put on the edge of the flap, we're going to put a line of tape. We're still having mustard, but, because what we're having is, smashed grilled potatoes with a mustard aioli sauce. So what you do is you boil new baby potatoes, and then you smash them and cover them with a mustard aioli, and then you grill them. And the mustard aioli makes a crispy crust on the smashed potatoes. So they're like giant hash browns, maybe would be a way to think of it. They're just not like all shredded up. So, so that is the carb for the, and then the protein is chicken thighs with sun-dried tomato and basil cream sauce. And the vegetable is, we're gonna steam asparagus and then quickly blister it on the grill to give it a little texture. And then dessert will be peach and blackberry cobbler. So that's the new menu. So the menu is totally different from what it used to be. We're also gonna get like a nice crusty Italian bread and grill it as well. Brush it with olive oil and grill it. Put it on the grill. Okay. So what you're going to do is you're going to take tape off of one flap. But there's still mustard. You know, we got rid of the salmon. So then what I like to do is I open up this larger flap and I put this one on until it's bumping against the score line, not against the Not all the way to the top. You want it to come just to the score line and then fold it around to the back. That way you won't have to worry about this one getting folded over when you, like, this edge isn't bumping right up into that score line. So that's right. It's a secret scrappy day. All right. So now we have 5 inserts. And we have 5 pages done. Or something. I don't know how many. We have 1, 2, 3. We need 4 inserts so far. So we can set one aside for later. Okay, now with the inserts, this piece, this piece, this piece, and this piece are all 4 1/4 by 6 1/4, which means that you would put a 4 by 6 photo straight on them, no mat. So this brown becomes the mat. So I'm not going to stamp a photo mat and put it on here. Remember, this is December Daily, and the point of December Daily is to make life as easy on you as possible. So I'm going to put pattern paper here, here, and here, okay? But that's it. I'm not going to worry about it. And for the pattern paper that goes here, I think I'm going to do just a Project Life card that's 3 by 4. So that there's a journaling spot on each insert, okay? And then on the front, we'll put a 3 by 4 card. And then here we'll put a 4 by 6 card, and that's all we're going to do. So again, the goal is just make it 1, 2, 3, 4. When you're doing December Daily, make it for maximum success, make it maximum easy. All right. So it's not with an album like December Daily, it's not maximum effort that you want. It's maximum efficiency. All right. So some albums we want it to be maximum effort. We want it to look beautiful, blah, 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 whatever. This one, no, incorrect. Do not want that because the holidays are very busy. You've got a lot to do in December. So don't try to worry about making this thing perfect. You want something that you can print your photos, stick them in, they'll look cute. And then what's good about December Daily is that then later on, after everything's calmed down from the holidays and you're not so busy, you can go through your December Daily, see everything that you did, and figure out if you want to make a larger holiday book. You still have that record of everything you did day to day during the holidays, okay? So if you want to expand on your December Daily with a maximum effort album, you can. But by expending maximum efficiency now, then later if you want to do maximum effort, you can. Because this is in a folder, I don't have to worry about it going in and out of a pocket and catching on things. So I'm going to just use ATG. Has it been your experience that when a paper pack has a lot of complex paper and designs, it takes longer to decorate versus cleaner, simpler paper? So what I will say about paper designs is that what takes a long time is if the paper designs are all the same size. And let me finish gluing all these little guys down, and then I will explain that to you so that you know exactly what I mean, so that you can. Where did I put the other folders? I mean, what the heck? Oh, I put the 4 away instead of the 1. Okay. And if I explain to you what I mean about paper pattern size, then I think you'll be able to see like which paper collections you should buy for mini albums and which ones you should avoid for mini albums. Because you can have something be very clean and not work for a mini album because all the patterns are the exact same size. Echo Park would be a big offender in that area. I find they're not very good at mixing up their pattern paper size. And then you could have a paper collection that's very vintage where everything is a similar size. And then that's really tough to use. And I would say that somebody who used to be an offender in that area, but I don't follow them anymore since American Crafts bought them and made them terrible, is Pink Paisley. I used to really love Pink Paisley, but they sometimes had just too many big designs. But I'll show you what I mean. And I'll use this paper collection to show you, because this paper collection has an extremely good mixture of pattern paper size, and that's why it's been so quick and easy. I mean, it hasn't been quick and easy because I've been screwing it up constantly, but theoretically it would have been quick and easy. Okay guys, you guys are about to get a little pattern paper 101. So let me get the paper collection. All right. Let me pull out the ones that I cut the corners out of to be. Now, when you're doing a mini album, because you have so many layers of paper on top of each other, it's really important that the patterns of the papers not all be the same size. So I'm going to show you what I mean by small, medium, large. This is a small pattern right here, this one on top, meaning that in an inch of the paper, take a square inch of the paper, you see the pattern repeated a number of times. It's small, it's densely packed, however you want to think about it, this is small. This one right here, this is large, meaning you need a big chunk of the paper to see the pattern. Okay, so this one is large. In fact, this one is very large. This one is almost too large to use in a mini album, but it still gives you the idea. This is large, all right? So this is small. This is large. And this one is medium. It's in between. There's a lot going on. It's got several patterns on it, and some of them are small, but the main design is this right here. This cathedral window, I think people said it's called in quilting. And if you took a square inch of it, you would only have one repetition of the cathedral window in a square inch. Okay, so this one's medium. Even though this one looks busy, it's technically medium. So if I lay this one on top of this one looks bigger. And if I lay this one on top of this one looks bigger. Small, medium, large. And when you put small next to medium next to large, in most cases, they'll look fine if they're all from the same paper collection. All right, now these look fine together. They're all from the same paper collection. They're all going to be in the same color story. And they're all going to have been designed, if the people making the paper aren't incompetent, which Simple Stories is not, they are going to look good. So small, medium, large is easy to mix together. Now, what can be hard is trying to mix small, 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 okay? And in this case, I can mix small, 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 okay, if I want to. I can mix small, small, small because the colors are very different. Because I have green and red, cream and red. What I'll use to differentiate the papers from each other is not the pattern size, but the color. But if I had a paper collection where it didn't have this much variety in color, green and red are opposite each other on the color wheel. It's a very dynamic color combination, and Christmas collections usually have a ton of colors in them that can provide variety for you. All right. But look how much better it looks if I switch it to medium, small, small. All right. So this doesn't look as good as this. Right off the bat, this looks better. And that's because we are not using small, small, small. All right. So we are mixing up the sizes. It's the same color, okay? It's not changing the color. In fact, it's taking away from the color. But look at the difference. Like this one, it looked okay. It looked fine. We could have used it in our book. But this is better. And the reason this is better is because there's more variety and it's not as tiring on your eye. Very small patterns are very tiring on your eye. So that's why I mean, print in particular, this one is probably the most tiring. So by adding in this medium-sized pattern, it's more relaxing. All right. Are you guys with me so far? All right, so here we have, I would consider this a small pattern. All right, so we have small, medium, small again. And now this one looks more stressful, and I'm going to tell you why. The reason that one looks more stressful than this one is because your brain is going to read this one when all is said and done as a solid, okay? So this one, the pattern is so tight and it's so tone on tone that your brain is going to read it more as a solid than it's going to read it as a small pattern. So when I take this one away and I replace it with another small pattern and it looks busier, all right, and it looks busier because it's not as tone on tone, it's not as solid. So every paper collection has papers like this that you can kind of like pull aside and think of as a solid paper. And a solid is the same as a big. Okay, so solid is the same as big. You can put solid, in fact, solid is just, it can go with anything. So these three look fine together because we have a solid, a large, and a small. So really, I think what makes paper collections harder to use is not so much distressed versus clean, although your personal preference, if your personal preference leans one way or the other, if you prefer clean designs, you may find cleaner paper easier to use just because you like it better and you're not fighting your own natural inclination against it or disinclination towards it. But when you have paper collections that are very distressed, a lot of times they're full of huge images. And when a paper collection is full of huge images, that makes it very hard to use because it's big, 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 big. And it's hard to mix big and have it look good. It's not impossible. You can play around with the colors and things like that. I showed you before, you can mix 3 small ones together and it's still okay. But it's just easier if they're not all the same. So when we go back to this one looks very awful now, in my opinion. So because we've taken away the medium and it's just small, small, small again, now it doesn't look nearly as good. Okay, now it doesn't look nearly as good. Now we can bring this in and that'll help. But even so, these 2 smalls are so small and so busy that it still is better to just take this away. And to have a medium instead. So if you divide your papers into piles while you're learning how to work with paper collections, if you kind of mentally put them into small, medium, large, or even make literal piles of small, medium, and large, and if you're not sure what one is, probably go down, I would say, if you're not sure. So if you're not sure if it's small or medium, put it in small. And then to spread out all the smalls, and if one of them jumps out as it doesn't belong, put that one back in medium. I'm going to go grab the Flutter and Bloom collection so I can, or not collection, but the Flutter and Bloom album so I can kind of show you this in action. All right, so this is not something that I think about with the conscious part of my brain necessarily anymore. But it is something that I'm always kind of considering, I think, on some level. So this is the opening spread of the book. This is a small pattern. This is a large pattern. And these 2 back here are medium. All right, so this one is, there's just too much paper color variety for this one to be read as a solid. But it's so busy that you're not going to read it as a large, like this one, which is just this one image that you can really see. But even I want to show you on just this piece that I cut from this pattern of paper, there are 3 patterns really here. There's a small, there's a medium, and then there's the large. So even a good paper designer is going to be doing this on their individual sheets too. Okay. Again, here you have small, medium, and large. So as you go through, you're seeing this is large. Of course, this is small. This is going to be read as small because of that pattern overlaying. We have another large down here. This one's a mixture of, this is medium, this is large. So as you're mixing them together, you know, you just want to have a good variety of size. So if you're going to only put one, see here we have small, large, medium, large. This is small, this is small. This is large, this is medium, this is large right here. You know, this one we actually have a medium and a medium with large elements mixed together. This is of course large. So you just want to make sure you're getting a good mixture. Here is medium and small. Medium and small. So I think that is really what's going to do it. So if you have a paper collection that is really distressed, that you're having a tough time using it, maybe that there's too many large patterns in it, you don't know how to cut up. Or there's not enough small or medium patterns to mix in with it. And Echo Park, like I called them out earlier, I like Echo Park just fine. But their tendency, in my opinion, has been in some collections to have too many smalls. This is Echo Park right here. Let's take a look at it. So see how Echo Park uses lots of tiny images and very tight patterns. Okay. This is what I'm talking about with there not being enough variety. Do you see these are all kind of the same size? Now, you could absolutely use this. You can absolutely use a paper collection like this, but these are all pretty much the same size. And when they're all the same size and they're all small, it can look busy. And then you have to be a lot more creative with how you place your pattern papers and how you layer your pattern papers so that they're not all driving you crazy, driving your eyeballs crazy. But see what I mean? How they're all kind of the same size? This is my issue with them. Now, I still use their paper. I've got this one picked for an upcoming album. But it's just more work. You know, it's not impossible. It's just more work. Meaning it's not easier. All right, it's just not easier. It's just not as easy as it could be if there was more variety of size. So that's what to look out for, I think. So Echo Park is technically cleaner than Simple Stories, but Simple Stories is going to be easier to use, you know, because this is much cleaner than this. But because they have a bigger variety of size, their collection is going to be easier to use. Which is not to say that you can't use Echo Park. Of course, again, I just pointed out I'm going to be using Echo Park in an upcoming album. But that's, I think, what people struggle with when they struggle with pattern paper. Okay, guys. There you go. You got a tiny mini lesson on how to look at paper a new way. And if you have access to archives and you go into the Ustream archives, there's a much more extended class. I did an entire class called Pattern Paper 101 that talks about this in more depth and how to deal with it, like if the paper's all the same size in pattern, how do you deal with that? How do you mix it up? So I talked about that in that Pattern Paper 101. Now, back when I was on Ustream made recordings in an FLV format, and so you have to download any of the ones that are FLV, and you open them with an FLV player, So those you can't watch on Box because Box doesn't have a native FLV player. It's an older technology. You know, time marches on and technology improves. So any of those that you want to watch, you just have to download them and open them with an FLV player. I recommend VLC Media Player if you're looking for one and you don't have one. VLC Media Player works great. Well, welcome, Tanya. That was was a good question that got asked. So, all right. So now you guys are all you're all set. You're ready to go forth and mix pattern papers together. If you need a recommendation for an FLV player, which is a flash video player, I use VLC Media Player. You can get it as an app and watch things on your phone or your tablet, or you can get it as a free download to your PC and watch on your PC. You can do it either way. Okay. All right, so now we're going to pick 4 3x4 cards and put them on the fronts of these, and we're going to pick 4 4x6 cards. And I think we only have, yeah, there's very few 3x4 cards that are horizontal, so we're going to have to see about ones that can be either. If there's any that could be either. Or we may just have to cut up 4x6s. We'll see. All right, there we go. Now with something like this, we can then add an element on top of it. That we cut off of something else. Okay. So I'm going to marry these 2 pieces together. All right, see how obviously that looks fine there because it was already on that pattern of paper. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ink it and then I'm going to glue it down with a liquid glue. All right. Now with this one, let me throw that one to the side for a second. Okay. See, this one's off center and this was off center on the card itself. So you can decide if that will bother you. If that will bother you, the simple solution is to cut it off and put it on a different pattern of paper. So just to cut this out, cut out the Santa Claus part and just put it on another 3x4 piece so that it's not bothering you. I'm going to leave it because no one ever puts those types of badges straight. So Fran says I put on my badge straight. I suppose Fran thinks that because she puts her badge on straight, she can get out of detention a little bit early. It would drive me crazy, just like trying to eat a dry sandwich. Yeah, Fran, I don't know who all these people are eating dry sandwiches, but there were a lot of them on Thursday's show. I think Ella was one of the dry sandwich eaters. I think she might have been one of them. Apologies in advance to Ella if she isn't one of them. No, I have not been back to the nail salon yet. I have not. Oh, she likes mayo. She wasn't one of them. I'm sorry, Ella. I didn't mean to malign you as a dry sandwich eater. Oh, you're a mustard hater. Oh, okay. Well, there were so many people with so many issues. But so when we do this kind of assembly line crafting that we're doing with this December daily, what I normally recommend to you guys is like put on something that's going to get you in the holiday mood, either Christmas music or Christmas movies on Netflix, and then just, you know, just enjoy. They must be washing down the dry sandwiches with spiked cereal milk. Blech. No, spiked cereal milk is the worst. I can't believe we forgot about spiked cereal milk. Someone good better make it into the Super Bowl this year. It better not be the Rams. I'm going to be mad if we have to have spiked cereal milk again. I was thinking about Scrappy Bowl this year, and I was like, should we have people over for Scrappy Bowl again? We're not doing a room tour, but we're actually just having a normal class this year because I haven't changed anything, so. All right, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little strip of ATG right in the middle just to save some time and adhesive. And then we're going to go through and add all these. Tartar sauce. Yeah, especially on a fish sandwich. And I like pesto too. Pesto's another good thing to put on bread because you get that nice herby flavor, but you've got all the fat from the olive oil. And it's easy enough to make your own pesto, especially if you have a food processor. Maybe I could knock out all the detention that I have and will get this year if I attend Scrappy Bowl again. Fran already said that if she's coming to Scrappy Bowl, we're not having cereal milk again. Pesto and fries. Ooh, that's interesting. I wonder what that would be like. Because I think ranch and fries is fine, and I've had mayo and fries. It's not that I don't like it, it's just not my absolutist favorite thing if I'm going to dip a fry. You know what my favorite thing to dip a fry into is chocolate milkshake. Don't knock it till you've tried it. Don't knock it till you've tried it. But if you go to Wendy's, dip your fry in the chocolate milkshake. It's kind of the same vibe as a chocolate covered pretzel because it's got the salt and the chocolate, the salt and the sweet and the chocolate. It's a salty sweet kind of thing. Yeah. Now everyone's scandalized. They're like, gross. Uh-oh, we broke Priya. We broke her. How did you even come up with that combo? I don't remember. I think someone pointed out to me in college. I think we were all at a Wendy's in college and someone was like, hey, have you ever dipped your fry in a chocolate milkshake? And I was like, that's gross. You're weird. And then I tried it and was like, actually, you may be onto something here. You may be onto something. So, all right. So I just quickly, threw some patterns together. Again, when you're doing sort of assembly line stuff. Wait. Before I screw this up too bad, I'm going to take a picture. Oh, okay. So Melanie says she's not a fan of salt. When she was a kid, her mom would salt everything, even fruit. See, I like salt on melon specifically. All right, so I take a picture. That way I remember which pattern I had with which. And now I can... But I don't salt. I don't typically salt my food. There's a few things I like salty. But I've never been much for salting my food in general. And apparently in Canada, they have some kind of dessert or something that is similar in concept. It's like French fries and ice cream, or some French fries and cream. I saw a thing on it, and the person who was talking about this dessert was like, yeah, you Americans putting your fries in your chocolate shake thought you invented that, but we really invented it. But I don't remember what the dessert was called. So yeah, not only do people do it, but in Canada they know we do it. And apparently they think we're wussing out and we should just actually make desserts out of fries or something. I like a lot of pepper in my food. So I'm definitely more of a pepper than a salt person. Like, I'll often add more pepper to food. One common thing that Mr. Lifeguard says about things I cook is, wow, you can really taste the pepper. So, so I definitely am big into pepper. I also like cayenne too. I like to put cayenne in things. Like for example, if you do a teriyaki marinade with like ginger and garlic and green onions and you add cayenne to it, that takes it up a notch, you know. I thought we were done with food controversies, but apparently not. Apparently I just started another food controversy with this fries milkshake situation. You missed the last one. All right. Now notice when I put these together that I didn't worry about matching them to the bags they're going in or anything like that. I'm not worried about that. You know, we'll find which bag fits which one the best, and then I'm just not going to worry about it because, again, all this stuff comes from the same collection. It's unlikely to look bad. It's true, we didn't talk about fries and milkshakes in that one. When we were in, as far as controversial foods went, we did not discuss that one. I didn't bring it up. Now, Fran has eaten food that I made without dying. So there's at least one person who can attest to the fact that I won't kill you with my food. sure you can cook, but I'm not trusting you with fries. All right, that's fair. That's fair. That's fair. Okay, so now I get my gallery open so I can see what goes with what. So this one goes with this one. All right, and remember, these are blank because we, instead of making this 4.5 inches and putting a 4.25 inch photo mat, we made them 4.25, so you can just stick a 4x6 right down. So only this, and then on the back you'll have another photo there as well. All right, so every single one of these gives you room for at least 3 photos. And of course you can leave it totally blank and put 2 3x4 photos and 4 4x6 photos. It's up to you. It's up to you. Okay, so Gretchen said that people dip fries in a lot of weird stuff. And then Priya says that Gretchen's right because Wikipedia has a list of what accompanies fries based on what country you're in. Oh my gosh, I can't wait to hear this. I mean, my guess is in the US, ketchup still reigns supreme. But maybe I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Oh, what the heck am I doing? Kathryn, stop. It's like this album is cursed or something. Okay. New Jersey has disco fries with brown gravy and mozzarella cheese. Well, Gretchen lives in Rochester. Are there fries on garbage plates? Or is that some kind of macaroni and cheese thing? You like fries with gravy? Okay, so now we have our 4 inserts. So I think we can finally say that we're done with the first 4 bags after 4 weeks of working on this. Okay, so when I go through and I'm like, which bags are going to go where? I see here, I just don't want this one to go in a bag that has that design. So I'm going to go ahead and stick it like so, and then uh-oh, we broke Priya, guys. We broke her. She's never eating fries again. She definitely isn't eating animal style fries. Animal style, that's like a sauce. Oops, see, I almost put 2 similar ones next to each other, so. All right. So there we go. So we've got the first 4 bags done, and you can see how they start to really plump up as we go. So that's why we left so much space in between. Okay, so we're now, after all this time, ready to move on to 2, 4, 6, 8. Oh, wow. Okay, so we need 2 more bags. All right. Where did this come from? Okay. So now what we're going to do is these ones are going to open on like this. So they're going to go like so and like so. Okay. That's where they go. And they're going to have 2, 4, 6, 8 on them. So, all right. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pull out a piece of paper, and if it looks fine across from the one across from it, I'll just stick it there and move on. And these papers are already cut down to be the right size. All right. Okay, so there we go. Got our pattern paper chosen. Choosed? No, definitely chosen. Forget I said choosed, guys. Let's just pretend that never happened. I'm sure my editor will take it out for me. I don't have an editor. That's why that's funny. Okay. When did I start doing this class? How long have I been going? I don't even know. I don't know anything, guys. Okay. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 4, 6, 8. Okie dokes. I'm going to blame the fries. That sounds good. Okay, so I'm going to put tape on these guys and then we'll start sticking everybody down. So I've been going for about an hour and 15 minutes. Okay. Now, if you don't have access to Michael's paper bags, but you do have access to the archives, I have a video from Scrap People like 2016 maybe, on how to make your own designer paper bags out of designer paper. Pretty sure it's called the Designer Paper Bag Album. And they were designed to be just about the same size as the Michaels bags. And where they can be a little bit faster is because you make them out of designer paper, so you don't have to cover the bags in pattern paper. Of course, then you have to make the bags, so it's up to you. I don't know. I don't know if it is any faster. We'd have to do a side-by-side timing. All right, so we've got them all taped. Then we're gonna ink them and stick them down. Melanie says she bought Christmas decorated bags and used them. That's very smart, Melanie. That's the fastest. That's the fastest by far. No, Melanie, you're not lazy. This isn't the maximum laziness effort album. It's the maximum efficiency effort. You gotta brand gotta brand it better. So it's the maximum efficiency. All right, so now what we're going to do is if the bag needs any additional decoration, we'll add it and then we'll stick them down. This one does not. So I'm just going to go ahead and stick this one right down. Okay, so this one's number 4. So this one could use a little additional something, make it look cute. It's going to be a challenge to use any of these. We'll have to, they're all so big. This album's so tiny. You think Melanie needs detention? Fran, are you tattling? Are you trying to get a fellow crafter in trouble? Do you need detention for tattling? It's lonely in detention. Aw, poor Fran. I forgot why you're in detention. What did you do anyways? Okay. So what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to put like a Christmas ornament made out of burlap on this. Because I have a lot of Christmas Bigs dies. Frame, circle, clock, flourish, holly, and mistletoe. Let me see what that looks like. Oh, ew. No. We're not doing that. Album, bag with handle, birdhouse, ornament, ball. Yeah. Ornament ball sounds promising. Ooh, wow. Ornament ball is quite large. Peace, joy. Snowflake. Angel wings. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to do this ornament, or this is not an ornament. I'm going to do this snowflake. And the snowflakes, really, I'm not going to cut the entire snowflake, so, or I'm not going to use the entire snowflake. Alrighty. So what I'm going to do is have it kind of going off one side, I think, and then we'll put the number in the center of it. All right, so this is a Sizzix Bigs Die Snowflake number 2. Snowflake number 2. Okay. All right, so going to all right, so I'm not being very careful with this snowflake, and I'm letting it get wrinkled, and I'm letting ink get not just on the edges. I want it to just look like it's some old thing that's been in the house for a really long time. And now I'm going to use liquid glue to stick it down. Okay, so we're going to flip it over and press it down from the back. And then cut. And then come back through and just ink that whole edge. Okay. So that already looks really nice. Now we need to get our numbers, which are where? Here they are. Okay, so this is 4. I don't remember which size we were using for these. Was it 1.5? Yep. Nice. All right, so we need 2, 6, and 8. Alrighty. And now remember with these, Jean, you did. You missed a description. You missed all the different things we put French fries in. Apparently, we're still not done talking about weird food. So we're still not done talking about weird food. All right, so the question is, right now it's joy and cheer. I can put this 2 here and it would just be joy, cheer. Or I can just kind of have the 2 like popping up over here. Okay. I think this is going to have to become 8? No, 6. Yeah, this one needs the red. So this is 6 now. So this is still 4. So now we need a new 2. We'll make this 2. Okay, 2, 4, 6, 8. Yeah, that's gonna be fine. Okay. At the last minute, I decided to stick the 2 up here at the top. Get a little scrap and cover the back. Then going to get out my glass mat so I can swipe around it. Okay. And ink the back. All right. So, okay, that's pretty good. Problem solved. All right, so 2. Four. So it's all about assembly line. So, you know, again, just to make this easy on yourself, don't overcomplicate it. Okay, 2, 4. That goes there. 6. This is 8. This is 6. Oh, 8 is, no. Okay, we need a different 8. See, this is gonna happen. This can happen. Don't worry about it if it does. All right. All right, so that's going to be the new 8. And then 6 is, we decided we're going to put this here, right? Joy, cheer, or do we like it here, kind of bridging the gap between all of the... No, I think it's got to go here. All right. So there we go. I guess the real question is, am I comfortable with these being striped on both sides? So I'm just gonna do this to give it something to bounce off of. All right, solved again for the 3rd time. So good at solving stuff, you guys. So good. Okay. All right, so 6. I'm gonna go ahead and Stick it down. Stick it down. And then I'm just going to punch it again with the same circle punch. And then we'll ink it front and back. And okay, 6, 8, all right, so I'm gonna stick this down. And hopefully you guys are making nice progress on your December dailies. Hopefully you guys are farther ahead than me. But okie dokes. We watched season 2. Kathryn's got jokes. Yeah, that's right. We watched season 2 of The Sinner over the weekend. We just turned into zombies, all 3 of us, and we're like, what is going to happen with these wackadoos? So we did that this weekend, and the big takeaway after the first 2 seasons I was like, don't move to upstate New York, because they're into some weird stuff up there. I was like, they've got cults and like doctors brainwashing people. I said, I don't know what, if it's because it's cold, there's nothing to do, but I don't know. Don't move there, guys. Don't move there. It's a lot of sketchy stuff going on in the countrified part of New York, I guess. Now someone's going to be like, look, I live in the countrified part of New York, and we don't have a lot of weird Canadian cults. I like the part where their cult leader's been kicked out of Canada, so he came to the U.S. to start a new cult. I was like, thanks, Canada. I'm sure everyone from upstate New York is totally normal and nice. They had to set this show somewhere. But I did live in Miami while CSI Miami was popular, so I know anytime I know what it's like when your city is on a crime show and you're like, isn't it really not like that at all? Although in Miami, to be fair, some weird stuff goes down. Like, oh good, these are upside down. Well, the 8 we can leave. No, the 8's upside down too. Why do I not pay attention to anything I'm doing? Okay. I'm going to show you a new way to fix if this happens to you. Okay, so I've cut the foot off the bag. And now I'm just going to take a scrap of the brown cardstock. They should have had it in Florida. All the weird stuff happens here. It's true. I do remember an episode of, well, I remember a couple things. One thing I loved about, I had someone from Australia who, at the time, this was like 10 years ago, was like, your hometown was on When Kids Kill last night? Oh my gosh. That's a really bad one to be on. I mean, not like any crime show is a good crime show to be on, but... So I just have a piece of cardstock that's 4.5 inches. By about 2 inches, and score down the middle. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to slide it in to the foot. Okay. And we're going to make a new faux foot. You didn't want to visit Florida for a while after watching Dexter? Was it because of Dexter or was it because of our unsolved homicide rate? Which was it? Okay, so we're going to stick that there and stick that there. And then this piece, we're going to slide over the flap. And that's going to fix it. Because the unsolved homicide rate is pretty accurate, probably. Okay, how do I want to do this? First of all, it needs to go like this. It'd be very annoying if I did all of this work and then did it the wrong way. And then slide this over here, right? Yeah, okay. Yeah, I mean, if you don't want Dexter to serial kill you, don't be a serial killer. Or a drug dealer. He killed drug dealers a lot too. Yeah, he mostly killed serial killers and drug dealers, and yeah, you could avoid getting on his table by not being a murderer. So really the question is, why is Priya so concerned about Dexter? That's the question that needs to be asked. Yeah, what bad things have you done, Priya? Oh, now she's trying to walk it back. She's trying to deny it. I haven't even dipped fries into chocolate milkshakes. I wonder if that's a Dexterable offense. But CSI Miami was really the crazy one. The most infuriating thing about CSI Miami has got to be the amount of times they have to drive over bridges. Particularly the bridge between Miami Beach and actual Miami. They were constantly going over the bridge between Miami Beach and Miami. And it was like, why? Why is the headquarters of the Miami CSI department on Miami Beach? That doesn't make a lot of sense. This is very inefficient. This is extremely inefficient. Who designed this? Very poor planning. Very poor planning. But my favorite was the time we were all in the chat and a viewer from Australia who watched CSI Miami was talking about how they would be afraid to go to Florida because of all of the alligators. And I was like, but you're from Australia. Like, it just isn't. First of all, you guys have crocodiles, which are way bigger than alligators. And secondly, a lot of other deadly stuff lives there on top of those. I was like, don't worry, you're Australian, you'll be fine. I was like, do not be concerned. If you can make it through Australia, you can make it through Miami. And she was like, really? Because they look so big and scary on CSI Miami. I'm like, I'm sure if one was biting you, you wouldn't appreciate the size difference between it and a crocodile, but they are much smaller than crocodiles. They recently published a study in the Tampa Bay Times. Someone has analyzed every alligator bite in like the last 40 years or something to find out if they have anything in common. And the most common person to be bitten by an alligator is a male who's intoxicated, who's swimming after dark. And I was like, well, that makes a lot of sense. Just like, so most people contribute to their alligator attack is what we found out from this study about alligator attacks. All right. Yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put glue on just the back of this one because I don't want to seal the bag shut. I sealed the foot shut, which is fine because nothing goes in the foot, but I don't want to seal the bag shut. Melanie, that's crazy. But yeah, I was under the impression that there, you know, you can't even like put your shoes on without getting bitten by a deadly spider in Australia. So I was like, don't worry, you're fine. Okay, so now the only thing I have left to do is I've got to seal the edge of the bag shut down here. So I'm just gonna run glue along the bottom here. Just a thin line just to close the bag, but without like taking away a lot of room to put stuff. So yeah, if you are living in Australia and you're worried about visiting Florida because of alligators and how they're portrayed on TV, don't worry guys. They're smaller than crocodiles. And they only bite, well not only, but they predominantly bite drunk males swimming alone at night. So don't do that. But I guess one of the main things they found in the alligator attacks is that most alligator attacks are an accident, which we did. I thought we already knew that, Fran. Did you know that? I thought we already knew that. But usually people who are hurt by alligators in Florida have in some way contributed to being to the incident. And usually it's by engaging in dangerous behavior, like swimming in swimming after dark is not recommended unless the thing you're swimming in is totally enclosed so that an alligator couldn't get into it. Like a lot of people have cages around their pools to keep them clean and to keep alligators out of them. So like you could swim in that after dark, but like in a waterway, or people who give alligator tours have been bitten by alligators trying to feed them, stuff like that. So usually it's swimming after dark or trying to interact with alligators. Don't do that. You know, do not swim Florida bodies of water from dusk till dusk on till dawn. Don't go in them. Only like when the sun is up. And if there's a sign near it that says, hey, sometimes there's alligators here, don't go in the water. Don't do it. Because the sign is probably correct. Yeah, I would not swim in a lake here either, Fran. If you can't see the bottom, don't swim in it, is kind of my rule of thumb. Yeah, Priya, if one chases you, you got to zigzag. Running in circles, like, for example, like if you're in your backyard and there's an alligator in your backyard starts chasing you, the best thing to do is to run around your house until you can get enough distance from the alligator to go in a door, because they can't turn. Like, they have trouble turning. Like they can't turn right. They have to go in a wide circle because of their stumpy little weird legs. So you zigzag and run and turn, make a lot of right turns. Priya says I would just die of panic. But the good thing is that alligators for the most part are pretty lazy. They're not into people. I will admit to having once been very stupid in the presence of an alligator, and I'm still alive. And I think that was mostly due to the alligator's laziness. So even if you are dumb, the alligator is still lazy. So Which is not to say don't be dumb, but just that even being dumb around an alligator will not necessarily result in you getting bitten by one. However, you need to treat all things that look like alligators with extreme caution, because there's another animal down here called the caiman, and they are not as chill as alligators. They're much more aggressive. And you have to be fairly close to them to see the difference. So it's better to just presume that they're all caimans and run. Gretchen says, another piece of advice is if you encounter an alligator, make sure you're with someone slower than you. That is excellent advice as well, Gretchen. Yeah, as long as you're not the slowest one, you know, you're probably fine. You're probably fine. Alligator advice from Kathryn Scraps. Just make sure you take someone slower than you. Bonus points if you don't like them that much. All right. So now we can get these in the book. Now that I fixed this one. Okay. So. Well, and then just don't be male and don't be drunk. So those are the other two things. Don't be male, don't be drunk, don't go in bodies of water after dark. If you avoid those, then those are the three main contributing factors to alligator attacks in Florida. So I think it's just, you know, men get together, they get drinking, they're like, hey, let's go in the water. Because they've been drinking, you know, judgment is impaired. And then they get bitten by alligators. Okay. Which is not to say they deserve to be bitten by alligators, but just that's how it happens, is what they have found through science, I guess. So, but yeah, apparently alligators don't think we taste good, and biting us is always a mistake as well. That they don't like us. Which, the same thing is true of sharks, but being bitten by a shark once is often enough to end your day. So, Florida is also ground zero for shark attacks in the world. There's like more shark attacks every year in Florida than the rest of the world combined, times like 100 or something. Like, not times 100, times like 10. So yeah, I guess maybe Florida is scary. Fran, I don't know if I have not been giving Florida enough credit for terror-inducingness. My bad. My bad. Maybe there's more stupid men in Florida. Ooh, that's possible. Maybe that's really what it is. Fran says she's on her 6th life, and 3 of the 5 lives that she had were ended in Florida. So the poor animals are getting blamed. I know. Well, I mean, it's not the animals' faults. They're just doing their thing. You'd worry more about sinkholes than gators. Yeah, sinkholes are no joke either. So there's also an area in Florida where saltwater and freshwater mix to a degree that alligators and sharks can both breathe it. And that's called Hell's Beach because it has alligators and sharks. So that's a place that's in Florida. Hurricanes and lightning strikes and tornadoes. If you don't want to get eaten by a shark or alligator, stay away from where they are. Yeah, exactly. Florida is a happening place. Jean says in Louisiana, they throw things at alligators and then hurry and walk away. Now Priya's like, Dexter is the least of my worries. Okay. All right, guys. So we got these 2 books in. So now we need to put on our pockets. So let's put on our pockets. If you're driving in Florida, the alligators just walk out into... Clearly, we're trying to compete with Australia. Well, what's happening is I was talking about how a viewer from Australia said that Florida was really scary to them because of all the alligators that they on CSI Miami. And I was like, but you're from Australia. They have like crocodiles and way worse stuff there. And then I got to talking about it and I was like, maybe Florida is worse than Australia. I mean, maybe I've made a mistake, you know? Maybe I made a mistake. This is why we stay inside and craft. That's true. Just stay inside, really, is the answer. Just don't go out there where all the monsters are. All right. I'm just cleaning up these pockets because these are the ones that got kind of messed up last time because, you know, again, I don't know what I'm doing. And I just do stuff wrong all the time in this book for some reason because I think it's fun. Okay. All right, so I've cleaned these up as best I can. Stay inside so the sinkhole can eat you and your house. Okay. So now 2 5/8 by 4.5. Florida seems to be a happening place. You know, I really didn't think it was before, before this class, but now I'm kind of like, well, mayhaps it is. Candy says, this is where I live, here in the land of where the air hurts your face. I have rabbits in my backyard. Yeah, but don't you have moose? Because my understanding is that those are no walk in the park. I mean, they're also a little bit scary, right? Moose don't eat you? Are we sure about moose not eating us? Can we confirm? Okay, so Candy doesn't live in the moose part of Canada. They're vegetarians. Okay. I was thinking that the issue would be if they charged you because of the size differential. Not so much that they would then chomp you after they stomped you. Alright guys, well, this has been, we've all learned a lot. Again, they're probably a danger to drunk men. There you go. Look guys, I think what we've learned is, don't be a drunk man. You'll probably be fine. So, you know, Barbara's doing her 2 most important jobs today, watching Kathryn and drinking water. That's true. Those are both very important things, especially the water. Hydrate, people. Hydrate. We don't want any glitter goddesses drying out. Gotta stay sparkly. Thank you. I'm glad you like these pockets. They're fun. They're cute little guys. Cutie patooties. All right. Okay, so class has been over 2 hours so far. What I'm going to do is, just so it doesn't take 5 million years to upload, I'm going to break the recording here. And we'll do like, well, I'll just keep going. It'll just be long. Yeah, but most of the people who have died from water intoxication were part of pee holding contests where you had to drink a bunch of water and then not go to the bathroom. So if you just drink water and go to the bathroom when you need to go to the bathroom, you probably won't get water intoxication. So that's not a reason to like limit your water intoxication. Just don't do anything like join a pee holding contest. Priya, maybe they were men and they were drunk. Apparently this has turned into a real drunk man bashing show. But well, I was reading about water intoxication, and when the Wii first came out, the Nintendo Wii, it was really hard to get. And a lot of radio stations did hold your Wii for a Wii contest or whatever. And people did die from that. Where do you get all this knowledge from, Kathryn? Well, I don't know if I would call it knowledge, but my useless facts come from a combination of being willing to read about almost anything, like not, and then, and being naturally curious about a lot of different things. Like, so for example, if I hear that you can get water intoxication and you can die, then that's something that would make me curious about water intoxication. And then I would read about water intoxication, and that's how I would learn that most of the people who have died from water intoxication have died from holding your pee contests, which then gives me the information that those exist. So it's not that, I follow the Wii holding circuit or whatever. I don't know if there is one, guys. I'm joking. It's just more, I'm just interested in a bunch of stupid stuff, or not exclusively interested in only one thing. Maybe that's what it is. Okay. So now we've got the outsides done. We need to just do the tops and the bottoms of these. So, but yeah, I do know a lot of stuff that's kind of silly, but that's okay. I'm okay with it. Because then I can do this show and I can impart all of this, let's just call it knowledge, onto you guys. Isn't that exciting for you guys? Think of all the stuff you now know that you wouldn't have known otherwise. Aren't you thrilled? You're so much better. We're all so much better for knowing these things. Yeah, that's definitely true. That's definitely true. So, okay. So I'm going to put this one in the in the craft one. One time Mr. Lifeguard sent me a job description for a polygraph reader at the NSA. So the person who gives lie detector tests, I guess. I'm going to put this on the back. I need to make the one that goes on the inside a little longer. And the book, this paper collection is called Handmade Holiday. It's by Simple Stories. And this is the digital collection, which I printed at home. If you really like it and you don't have an ability to print at home, contact your local print shop and find out what their rates are, because a lot of people are getting very reasonable rates to print 12 by 12 from their local print shops. So even if you like, comparable to just buying the paper. So anyway, so this polygraph thing, the reason he sent it to me was because it had only one requirement. You did not have to know how to read a polygraph, which I thought was interesting. They don't care. They'll teach you how to do that, right? But you had to be able to talk. It said you have to be able to converse with people on a wide range of topics, including but not limited to. And then there was just this long list of topics from, you know, pop culture, music, philosophy, history, sports, and then it was on and on and on. And I think it was because, like, I talked to him and he said, well, because a lot of administration of a polygraph is you have to get the person comfortable talking to you, is a huge part of it. Mr. Lifeguard was telling me this. He's had a number of polygraphs because he used to work in a top secret agency. So he said that, you know, a large part of polygraphs is just being able to talk to people wherever they are and, you know, get them comfortable with you and wanting to talk to you. So he says probably easier to teach people how to use a polygraph machine than it is to teach people how to talk to people about whatever they're interested in. You know, like one of those is probably a lot easier to teach. One of those is probably more of an innate skill. And so he sent it to me because he said, you like a bunch of dumb stuff no one else cares about. So I was like, thanks. I'll be a polygraph reader. That'll be my new job. Oh, it's so cute. It's a little tucked. It's still tucked in, like a little blanket or a little napkin. Yeah, like a little sleeping bag. Yes. Oh, you could make these for a camping album, and they would be in a camping album. They would totally look like sleeping bags to whoever was looking at the album. All right, so I'm going to use the 1/8 inch hole punch, which is on this, which is the smaller size of the yellow We Are Memories corner rounder, because I used the 3/8 for the to round the bottom. Did I? Yeah, I used the 1/4. So now I'm going to use 1/8. It's better to go down, if you have the ability, to go down 1/8 of an inch instead of 1/4 of an inch. Yes, you could put little heads poking out of them as pull tabs for your inserts. That would be cute. You could get Peachy Keen stamps to put little faces on them too. Okay. All right, and so the pocket Okay, that's good to know, Barbara. So it's not going to be affected by the cricket problem that is cropping up now. And that's good to know. Okay, so this one's done. So we can stick this one down. See? That's why we put some on the back, so it would poke up again also. All right, so now what we're going to do is, and again, I'm leaving these empty because these are for small bits of memorabilia and ephemera, like tickets, receipts, things like that. All right. So I don't put any tape at the top on the back. Instead, I put the tape at the top of the bag, and then on the other 3 sides, I put the tape. And that way, I know I won't have any tape sticking up the top extending over the bag, over the edge of the bag. So then come through, peel that. And there we go. All right, so now we've got that, and we just need to put some pattern paper here. Wait a second. Yeah, okay. We're going to put pattern paper and then another 3x4 card. Okay, so now we just need our contrasting paper for this, and I think I'm going to use, I think I'll use like letter or musical note or something like that. I've made such a mess. All right. Okay, so I have a piece of musical note paper that's the right width, which is 2 5/8. So we can go ahead and use that. All right. So let's start. So yeah, a lot of people have a bunch of these little Michaels bags that they can use for projects like this. So it's nice to break them out every once in a while and get them. Okay, so first step is, then I'm gonna just cut along this. Yeah, I'll send a link. Let me just finish this little bag, and then if I forget, remind me at the end as I'm saying goodbye. But yeah, this is one of the nicest paper collections, and I never that they've ever put, that Christmas collections they've put out, I think. And I never got to use it the first time that it came out. So when I was thinking about stuff that I could get digital copies of, I was like, oh, well, this is one of the things I've got to get. So, all right, so next, I'm going to ink the edges, but yeah, it's Handmade Holiday by Simple Stories. If you print your own paper, and Simple Stories' digital paper collections are very reasonably priced. I think it's $11 or $12 for this whole collection with all the pieces and parts and all the papers. Do I ever use a Xyron? I used to use a Xyron. I don't anymore. And the reason that I don't anymore is just because it's... most companies don't have digital collections. I'm thinking probably more of them will as time goes on and they realize it's a way for them to resell something they're already done selling without any additional money out other than to pay someone to convert it to digital. So I'm hoping that it'll be more popular, but so far, like I went to go check Prima because Prima used to have, like Prima has a bunch of collections, like romance novel, for example, that if they brought out a digital, I think they could do really well with. Things that sold out, or Pastiche, that was another one that sold out like crazy. So I think a lot of companies could, you know, they just, I don't know that they think about it. But I think it's a way that they could all make a bunch of money. But maybe they're concerned if they do, then people won't buy the paper collections when they come out. They won't be afraid of them going out of stock. I know, remember when Prima used to make consistently amazing stuff? But yeah, I used to use a Xyron, but Xyron's cassettes are so expensive. That's why I don't anymore, because they're just incredibly expensive. That they weren't worth the convenience to me. With the amount of adhesive I use, it was just brutal. So that's it. That's all. I sometimes wish that I still had one for like when I'm doing the covers of things, you know, and you need adhesive edge to edge. But Bo Bunny's another one I'd like to see do a digital collection if they don't already. Because I do also think that their stuff, some of their older stuff, particularly, like, for example, they did a pregnancy journal thing. And it's like, well, not everyone's pregnant at the same time, guys. You know, like, not everyone needs a pregnancy journal right then. So, I don't know. This is why I should just be in charge of everything. Just be like, look, guys, duh. They have a punch out now for the tabs you're making. I saw that they had a punch and I looked at it and I thought it was ugly. But maybe it's because it had an extra bump on it that I did not like at all. I was like, no, I would rather just use the punch board. But do they have a new punch? Because they had the one that they had before, I did not like at all. It had extra bumps on it that made it not look like a tab exactly. So, but I'm really picky, as you guys may have noticed. I have a lot of strong opinions about things. So, Kathryn for president. Yours doesn't have a bump, so maybe there's a new one. Because, yeah, the one I saw had an extra book on it, and I did not like it. Okay, thank you. Because I would like one that was just like the board with no bumps. But when they came out, like I said, the one that I saw had weird bumps on it that I was like, why? Why would you change it? Why wouldn't you just use the shape from your board that everyone loves? Why would you make it weird? People are always making stuff weird, guys. Well, that's the other issue with the Xyron, Barbara, is also the storage, right? So you got to store that whole giant machine somewhere. And that's annoying. I can make you an SVG. Okay. So now we have those bags on. So now the only thing to do to make this complete is we've got to decorate the flaps. So I'm going to stop the recording here. The stream will keep going. And in the next video, I'll do the cards and the inserts.